Hi crafty friends! Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the type of video I normally do because typically I'll do a product review or a tutorial, but today I wanted to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is why crafting or creating is so important. And I wanted to go over the top 5 reasons. Now, of course, these aren't all of the reasons. There's millions of reasons why I think crafting is so important, but the top 5 are as follows. The first one is it builds self-confidence. There is nothing like taking something from nothing and turning it into something beautiful, whether it is paper crafting or altered art or decor for your home. I've shared the story many times, and most of you have probably heard it. The first time I actually crafted something was I created a shelf for my home, and it was a really beat up old shelf that I'd gotten at a secondhand store, and I will never forget the joy that I had when I hung it on my wall, and it literally changed my life. It made me look at the world differently, and from that point on, it really has truly changed just really the way I find beauty, and it really has defined the whole trash from treasure quote for me. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is how altered art or DIY is such a great way to save money. Now, one of my biggest compliments I can get is when someone comes to my home and they'll ask me, "Where did you get that?" And it's so nice to know that I was able to pick up something for pennies on the dollar, whether it is a yard sale or a secondhand store, and I've been able to customize it to create something for my home. Because not only does it fit into my decor aesthetically, but it also gives me pride to know that it is something that I created. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about as far as why crafting goes beyond just a hobby is the fact that it is a wonderful pastime. Now, don't get me wrong, I love reality TV. I may or may not be addicted to Candy Crush, but the one thing about crafting is it is one of those pastimes that when you're done, you have something to show for your work. And it's really a nice way to spend your time and to also be rewarded at the end. Now, the fourth thing I want to talk about, hopefully I won't get too emotional, but for those of you that follow me on social media, you know that my mother passed away a few weeks ago. And the fact that it is such a beautiful way to create keepsakes, to hand down to generation has been such a comfort to me. And not only the finished piece of work, but also the fact of teaching that craft or that particular skill. Now, I grew up in a very strict household, and Sundays especially, we weren't allowed to play with friends, we weren't allowed to watch TV. That was a day that we sat in the front parlor with my mother, and she taught us how to cross stitch and to embroider. And while at the time I may not have appreciated it, I am so grateful now that not only did she pass along those tremendous skills, but over the past couple of weeks I've been able to go through some of the things that she made for myself and my daughter, and it truly has been so comforting. And I wanted to share a couple of those things with you. Now, speaking of passing along that craft, this right here is actually a blessing or christening dress that my great-grandmother made for my mother. So my mother was actually blessed in this dress. Now, to take it to kind of the next level, this dress right here, my mother made for my daughter Kelsey when she was blessed. So it's one of those generational things that can be passed down time and time again and has so much meaning. Now, I have to tell you, my mother was all about the dowry. She created a dowry for not only her 3 daughters, but her 4 granddaughters. So when they graduated from high school, they were each given a beautiful gift of things for when they were married. Now, I have to be honest, as an 18-year-old, you may not appreciate crocheted hot pads, but can I tell you how much these mean to me now? My mother made crocheted hot pads. She made dish towels that were beautifully embroidered. She also created a gorgeous crocheted tablecloth. If you can imagine, take a look at this, how much time this took. I asked my mother once about how long it took her to create, and she said it took her about 2 years to create each one of these. That is amazing. Now, I was incredibly blessed to spend the last few days with my mom before she passed away. And one of the things that was just so important to her was that we knew where to find the things that she had made for her future great-grandbaby that's due in March, and to where to find the dowry for the younger granddaughters that are only 12 or 13 right now. But she wanted to make sure that we knew where those were, so that we could give those to them on their 18th birthday. So I just wanted to share that with you of how important that is, and what a beautiful keepsake that is, and how much comfort that has brought me. Now, last but not least, the thing that I wanted to share is what a beautiful way that crafting and creating is to fill up maybe some of those hours of loneliness that we might feel. I've been so blessed to have made so many amazing friends on social media. Some of them have shared their stories with me, whether they are have gone through difficult circumstances in life or lost a partner, how much that crafting and creating has filled those lonely hours. And I know for my father, that is something that is very important. Now, my dad, he's an old school farmer, and I cannot remember a time that he did not sit by my mother while she was crocheting, and he would help unwind and untangle the yarn. And in fact, my daughter, Kelsey, she said that one of her favorite memories of her grandma was watching my grandma crochet while listening to Patsy Cline. And that too is one of my favorite memories. And my dad, since he's retired from carpentry, he has picked up the habit. He loves to crochet, he loves to knit, and in fact, one of the things that he loves to do is crochet hats for different charities for newborn babies and people in need across the globe. So hopefully you're inspired, but I wanted to share with you why, for me, crafting is beyond a hobby. It is something that is near and dear to my heart. It is such a great way to spend your time, build confidence, fill maybe some of those lonely hours, and a great way to give to others. So I'd love for you to leave a comment below as to what kind of blessings creating and crafting has brought to you.